Alright, welcome back to Gaming News. Today we're talking about an iconic controversy with First Descendant, the newest hit game to hit the market in Steam. This is based on the icons. So this was released by a Forbes article. I've looked into it and I can say it's sort of a problem. It's not that big of an issue, but it does come back to that whole Ubisoft story we covered earlier on Sunday, that gaming companies just straight ripping IP of other games and other groups as their own, which could be copyright violations. But otherwise, let's look at this. So barely changed icons. So as you can see, there's pairs of icons between First Descendant and Destiny, and it showed. So First Descendant is the left end of the pair, and Destiny icons are on the right of the pair. So the attack and ability icons from First Descendant look like copied over Destiny 2 icons that have their colors swapped, rotated slightly, or positions altered. Only some of the icons look this comparable to Destiny 2, as the majority of the icons are different enough to visually be considered custom. So that's what I think like, but some of these are just straight rips. Especially the top left one, it's just a different color. It's literally the same thing, but just a different color pattern. The hand is a little bit less so, and the bullets in the top middle are kind of somewhat the same. We'll talk about which ones look more egregious than others, but overall, these are just some of them. There's others that do look similar, but these are like the ones that people thought looked like the most like taken off. And I will say, people do have a case here. So they're somewhat different. So the one with the hand with the motions, let me see if right here, you can see my mouse. Yep. This right here, the hand looks exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that this is shooting out what looks to be flying ghosts, while this one is just placing it on a triangle with a bunch of fire emblems surrounding it. So this one is somewhat different. It does have like a straight copied hand, but like it's doing something different, so it's somewhat different. They're basically somewhat different is that they're enough to be seen as custom, but their designs are still questionable considering the icon designs aren't the only issues that Destiny fans are pointing out. We'll get to the gun that's also controversial in a second. But this one as well with the gunslinger barrel. I mean, this just has a few extra rectangles surrounding it, and the only thing that's different is that the top bullet is missing in Destiny but not in First Descendant. This one's also basically the same. We'll get back to this one, because I think that the other ones, like this arrowhead here, bullet, shock, explosion, and this thing, these belong in the suspicious designs. Icons highlighted in blue are almost exactly the same designs, like they were almost completely just ripped from Destiny 2. Like this pin here, same design. The only thing that's different is that there's a lightning bolt in the center of where the circle would be, and the color's different. The bullet icon is literally the exact same. The only thing that's different is that instead of a circle aim down sights, there is a hexagon aim down sights. This one, the only difference between this design and this design is that this has one spike. This has 3 spikes coming out of the arrowhead, while this only has 2 spikes. That's literally the only difference. This explosion is basically the exact same. The only thing that's different is that the Destiny one has more details. This one's just if you take the Destiny one, but remove this spike, and you have the exact same design. And then this design is basically the same. The only difference is that this has a diamond in the middle and has a slightly different pattern. This one has a cooler pattern in the middle, but they're basically just an orb surrounded by 2 lightning bolts. The only thing that's different here is that there's a diamond. So I tend to agree with the people that think that these are ripped off. This pair, this pair, this pair, this pair, and this pair are definite rip-offs. Because the abilities basically do the same thing in the games, which is also a rip-off. But that's not the only thing, because there's also a gun, the Different Dream Sniper in First Descendant. This sniper is also receiving some complaints, as its design seems to resemble or straight based off 2 Destiny 2 weapons, the Achilles Sniper and the Sleeper Stimulant. The barrel pattern is the main source of the complaints, but also the backstock in the back and the scope is also a little bit of a complaint. You'll see why. The first comparison is the Aikilos pattern on the Aikilos sniper from Destiny 2. As you can see, the pattern looks similar. It's not identical, but it is similar. We'll get to the other gun. This is straight ripped off from the sleeper stimulant. But I wanted to talk about this sniper because the scope is somewhat the same. Look at the hexagon is basically the same as this. It doesn't look, it's definitely not identical because this is a very small scope compared to this. The barrels look nothing the same. The backstock looks kind of similar. If this part right here was flipped up instead of down, then it would probably be perfectly in line. But like, yeah, this is, the main barrel pattern is very similar. The scope segments resemble the different dream with the hexagonal pattern here, and both guns have a similar stock. Again, if this part was flipped up, they would have basically the same stock. It looks like they just took this stock and rotated it so that it faced up rather than horizontal. So I can see why people think that it's a ripoff. But this is just a plain ripoff. Again, this gun looks nothing like this gun when you take it from... If you cut this gun in half and this gun in half, they look nothing alike. But this pattern looks like it almost was straight ripped from this pattern. Same triangle design on the top and bottom, even the same colors, the same horizontal lines and base plates. Even the diamonds look exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that this is like a lower render quality, but they look exactly the same. This pattern looks so much similar to this pattern, which is why I think it was straight ripped off. Now, I will say this, the rest of the gun is okay. It's custom and it looks pretty cyberpunk-esque and it looks pretty cool. But this pattern is just straight ripped from the Sleepy Stimulant. I mean, it's straight ripped from... The only thing that's different is that this has an extra triangle on top. If they put one of these, copy and pasted it here, it would be the exact same, just with less detail. And just because it's less detailed doesn't mean you just straight copied it. I can't just take the Google Chrome logo and make it just one color and just say, with the exact same font and the exact same letters, and just make it like red and be like, alright, time to use this on my new company called Goggleplex or something like that. I can't just do that because that's copyright infringement. So yeah, another game. We already talked about how Ubisoft was caught with a flag design, but this is just another game that's like that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you liked, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it, and you guys have a blessed day. Toodaloo!